In 1993, Sydney glittered with opportunity. But for Martin Garnett, it never felt like enough. At 25, he had what many would call a solid life. He worked at a car dealership, sold expensive vehicles to confident buyers, and knew how to read people quickly. He dressed well, spoke smoothly, and earned more money than most of his friends. But when the showroom lights went off and the day ended, a quiet dissatisfaction followed him home. Success felt temporary. Ordinary felt unbearable. He wanted something bigger, faster, permanent. When the opportunity came, it didn't arrive with threats or pressure. It came quietly, disguised as confidence and promise. Martin was asked to carry illegal drugs on an overseas flight just once, they said. One trip, one flight. That was all it was supposed to take. A reward that would take years to earn legally. Martin didn't see danger. He saw a shortcut. He convinced himself it was calculated, controlled, smart. The night before departure, his apartment felt unfamiliar. The walls seemed closer, the air heavier. He moved slowly, deliberately, aware that every action carried weight. As he prepared himself, his hands trembled, despite his efforts to stay calm. His body felt constrained, unnatural, as if it already knew it was being used for something wrong. He barely slept. At dawn, the city looked peaceful, unaware of the decision that was about to unravel a life. On the drive to the airport, Martin rehearsed normality. He practiced breathing evenly. He reminded himself that thousands of people traveled every day, that he wasn't special, that nothing would go wrong. Inside the terminal, reality sharpened. Every sound echoed the wheels of suitcases, footsteps on polished floors, the distant hum of announcements. The smell of coffee mixed with jet fuel. Sweat formed beneath his clothes, and he became acutely aware of his own body, every movement feeling deliberate and stiff. The security line felt endless. Time stretched unnaturally as he moved forward inch by inch. A man ahead of him was stopped for questioning. Martin's heart slammed against his chest. His mouth went dry. For a brief, terrifying moment, he imagined stepping out of line, walking away, disappearing back into the safety of his old life. But greed doesn't shout, it whispers, "You're almost there." When it was his turn, he handed over his passport. The officer studied it, then studied him. The silence felt unbearable. Martin forced his face into calm, but inside, panic surged. Every second felt like exposure. Then, everything collapsed. He was taken aside after the scanner flagged his bag. Questions followed. Bags were opened. The calm efficiency of the arrest was almost worse than chaos. There was no room for explanation, no dramatic outburst, only the heavy certainty that his life had just split into before and after. Bangkok greeted him not with adventure, but with reality. The court proceedings were swift and unforgiving. The evidence was overwhelming. The sentence was devastating. When the final words were spoken, Martin felt hollow, as though his body was present, but his future had been erased. Prison was immediate shock. The heat was suffocating. The air was thick with sweat, noise, and despair. Cells overflowed with men from every background imaginable. Privacy didn't exist. Silence was rare. Sleep came in fragments. Fear lived everywhere. Violence was unpredictable. Different gangs controlled different spaces, enforcing invisible rules that Martin learned through observation and fear. Standing in the wrong place, speaking to the wrong person, or even making eye contact could bring consequences. He learned to stay quiet, to remain alert, to disappear into the background. But survival came at a cost. Martin witnessed beatings over misunderstandings. He saw men break under pressure. He watched newcomers arrive confident and leave hardened within weeks. Trust was rare. Weakness was dangerous. And then there was the other prison, the one that made the injustice unbearable. Some inmates lived differently. Money changed everything. Bribes bought better food, fans to fight the heat, private sleeping spaces, even mobile phones. Gods accepted envelopes and turned away. Martin watched laughter, comfort, and small luxuries exist just steps away from suffering. Freedom, he realized, wasn't equal even behind bars. He had no money, no protection, no influence. Years began to blur. Martin aged inside those walls. His body hardened, but his mind softened into reflection. Letters from home arrived less often. Friends stopped writing. The world outside continued without him. Careers advanced, families grew, lives unfolded. At night, regret became unbearable. He replayed the moment he said yes, the arrogance, the belief that consequences were for other people. He thought of the dealership, the ordinary days he once resented, the freedom to walk outside without fear. He realized that boredom had been a luxury he never understood. Greed had promised him everything and delivered nothing. Hope didn't disappear entirely, but it changed shape. It was no longer about escape. It was about endurance, about surviving one more day, about finding meaning in responsibility rather than denial. Martin accepted the truth slowly, painfully. He hadn't been trapped. He hadn't been unlucky. He had chosen this path willingly. Years later, his name became known not for success, but for consequence. He became Australia's longest-serving prisoner overseas, a title earned not through intention, but through a single reckless decision. His story isn't about drugs. It's about impatience, about mistaking shortcuts for intelligence, about how greed can quietly dismantle a life. Some people chase more and lose everything. Others learn too late that enough was already more than they needed. And inside those prison walls, Martin Garnett learned the hardest lesson of all, that freedom is priceless, and once lost, no amount of money can buy it back.